Okay, so today we have something that I know a lot of you have been asking for, and that is a comparison, a shootout, whatever this is. It's the comparo of the Can-Am 700 versus the Grizzly 700. This is hugely important because these are two new products, and I wanted to bring Mike in on this because he has so much experience with both these vehicles.
Oh man, the comments we see online are insane. It's like anytime you mention one of these vehicles, when are you going to compare it to the other? So hey, we had to do this.
And when we want to preface this, this is the hunting edition. It is the Pro. It's the Outlander Pro hunting model.
Yep.
Yes, it is premium. It's top shelf of what they offer, but this is the Grizzly EPS SE, and it's top shelf as well. Is it geared towards hunting? No. Really, what makes this geared towards hunting? Nothing but the camo. Before we do anything, why don't we just do some walkarounds and talk about each one of these models first before we break them down and kind of shoot out the categories.
Yeah, I like that idea.
This is a 23 Grizzly EPS SE. Great looking product. We know the Grizzly because this has been the same since they changed from the 700 to the 686. They haven't done anything really with this platform for a while.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it was around 2015-16 they did the complete change up in bodywork. They went to a 708, but then went back to this 686.
What do we got for suspension on this thing?
It's a pretty stock suspension setup. You know, you got decent travel. It's 7.6 up front, 9.1 in the back. Your ground clearance, I think it's 11.8. 11.8, so it's almost 12 inches of ground clearance. It's decent.
I'm gonna go to an area that we know how you feel about, the tires.
Sure.
It is a 27-inch tire. It's a Maxxis Zilla MU01, and I know you don't like this tire.
This is not my favorite tire. You know, when I rode this in Colorado earlier this year, Yamaha actually outfitted this model, this exact model, with GBC Grim Reapers, which are a really nice trail tire, nice durable trail tire, and it was much more suitable for the type of trail riding we did there, which is the type of trail riding I prefer.
It's a 10-inch all the way around, which I do like square tire setups because you can rotate them. I like square tire on side-by-side. On ATV,
thank you.
I don't know, I think I need more traction out back, and I don't like the look of a 10-inch up front on this thing.
I gotta be honest with you, I feel like it makes the steering a little more difficult, you know,
does.
even with the assist from the EPS.
Which it has a great EPS on it.
It's a single mode EPS, but this could be the best EPS in the industry.
I've never complained about this system.
No way, it is dialed in so nice.
Other amenities on this vehicle, obviously it's got the nice painted plastics. This is a beautiful ATV. I like the upper pod with the extra headlight. I like the display on it. It works great. Obviously this has on demand, it's not on command, it's on demand, four-wheel drive. So you've got your tri-mode differential, two-wheel, four-wheel, and front diff locked. So overall, I think we know what the Yamaha is. The Yamaha is proven durability, reliability,
for sure.
Its strength, it's there. It'll pull over 1,300 pounds if you want it to for towing. Overall, not very changed for the past 7 years.
No.
Didn't really need to be, didn't have any competition.
No.
Let's talk about the competition because that's the Can-Am. This is the Outlander Pro HD7. Brand new, 2023, new model, new design, new engine, new everything.
New everything, and it is like fully jammed, this model. This is the hunting edition.
So travel numbers up front, we've got 9 3/4.
9 3/4, yep.
In the back, we have 10 1/4.
10 1/4, yes.
And ground clearance is?
It's actually it's 12, so it's like you're on par. So
very on par. Yep. Yeah, very on par. When it comes to what this product has, it has the bumper, it has the winch, it has the skid plate underneath, which this actually has a really nice set of skid plates.
The ones under the footwells are just amazing. They offer a ton of protection there.
Yeah.
It's got the aluminum A-arm guards front and back on this thing as well. So, you know.
And this is all stock. This is all part of the retail price, which is cool. Now, when it comes to storage on this, I know you're a fan.
I am.
The rack up front is really functional underneath. You move back, you've got an awesome bin underneath here that has 2 USB ports as well as wireless charging for your phone.
It also does have a lot of technical advancements on this thing. It's got the tri-mode DPS. It has a speed limiter, intelligent throttle control, and intelligent engine braking too. So
that is a mouthful.
It's crazy, but you can, the coolest thing about it is, you know, dial it into whatever type of riding you're doing and you can just completely customize your ride.
Now tires are something that I don't hate these ones. I think because it's a primo product, I would have liked to have seen a brand name tire on there. They use XPS.
Tires are one of the first things that we've done polls on this is one of the first things that people do when they get an ATV is they swap out, put aftermarket tires on it, myself included. It'd be one of the first things I did. However, when I test rode this vehicle, I was really surprised at how well they worked.
They're a traditional setup. where it's an 8-inch front and a 10-inch rear. So we have that more traditional tire setup, which I know both you and I on an ATV do appreciate.
Absolutely.
So this vehicle has a 50 horsepower, 650cc single cylinder engine, which is both the HD5 and the HD7,
Correct.
just with probably different engine management and a little bit of different injectors and whatnot. So when we want to talk about fit and finish, this is somewhere that this vehicle really steps the game up in our industry. I think now we got to talk about the actual areas that we put these both to the test in. So we are going to go through 4 different areas of comparison. Number 1 is ride quality and suspension. Number 2, engine performance. Number 3, amenities, fit and finish. And number 4 is overall value. Okay, so to start us off is number 1, ride quality and suspension. I know that the numbers here are what are going to make the biggest difference between these two, because you're talking about more than 25% more suspension travel up front on the Can-Am, and that is hard to get away from.
I've always found the suspension on the Grizzly is set up a little bit soft. One of the hallmarks of this Pro line is that it's deliberately set up stiffer for work duties. With the Grizzly, I have noticed at times there is a little bit of body roll in the corners, and I think that that might be due to the fact that the suspension is quite a bit softer.
When it comes to this, the bigger 9.75, I think it is up front,
Yep.
over 2 inches more travel, it does make the front end ride better. This is a better riding, better working, more confidence inspiring front end in my opinion when it comes to steering and that body roll you're talking about.
I think so for sure. I mean, cornering with this, it's very flat and handles corners really well. Not to say that the Grizzly is bad by any means, but it is softer and there is the presence of body roll, which can be unnerving at times.
Can-Am is the only company to compete with Yamaha in this 700cc single category. So what did they use as a benchmark? They could only have used one thing, that vehicle.
Absolutely.
So were they going to build it with less travel, less compliance, less rideability, less performance?
Right.
No, obviously not. They're going to step it up.
You got to outdo the leader if you want to lead, right?
You got to do that. Out back, I really could say that the rear suspension is a wash between these two. This has about an inch more travel. I don't find that it's any worse or any better. I think it's about the same.
I'm on board with that. Yep.
Yeah. So when it comes to that, Can-Am definitely takes the front end suspension calibration and setup and feel. In the rear, I think it's a wash.
This has been my favorite ATV for years. I admit I'm biased towards this machine. I do love it.
You owned one.
I've actually owned 2. I love this unit, and I've done the test ride on it before, and I do actually really love myself a Grizzly. After having a chance to ride the Outlander Pro, I am really impressed by it.
So I think when it comes to suspension, handling, drivability, you got to give the point to the Can-Am in this
Agreed. One. Okay, so number 2 on our list is engine and drivetrain. And we've got some comments for both of these machines.
Yeah, so we've got the 686 and we have the 650, both singles. What do you figure Yamaha's rating this somewhere in?
Yeah, there's no official numbers, but I'm saying like mid 40s.
Yeah, so exactly.
45.
This one is 50 and it's an efficient 50. Now,
you can feel that extra pull too.
Now, here's something that needs to be said. This has a 10-year belt warranty. And that's boilerplate. Yamaha will replace this belt if it breaks within 10 years. I mean, it's hard for me to even fathom that. That's amazing. It uses a Sprag clutch design, so it's not putting stress on the belt all the time as the P-Drive system does. The P-Drive is very efficient, but relatively unknown when it comes to ATV and off-road. This doesn't have any kind of a belt life warranty. There is nothing there. Is it more efficient at putting power to the ground? I believe probably it is when it comes to power going to the ground. This feels way snottier, way healthier, and way more sporty than that. But what's important in your books, reliability or performance? Because really that's where this comes down to.
It's not to say that the Can-Am is unreliable. It's just unproven at this point in an ATV. So maybe we actually should have broken this down into 2 categories and mentioned engine and drivetrain separately, because you do have very similar engine powers, but the Can-Am does have that little bit extra pull, and you have 2 completely different CVT systems here.
Absolutely. So when it comes to this, I mean, you've got the intelligent drive modes on this. It's a drive-by-wire system. This is a cable actuated. Very, very different. I think both you and I probably agree that when it comes to driveline, if it's reliability, we're going Yamaha. When it comes to driveline and we're going performance, including the engine, we're going Can-Am. Those are two very separate paths. You have to choose which one is more important to you. And like Mike said, it's not that this isn't reliable and it's not durable, it's just it's not proven. I think we call this category, as much as Can-Am was a winner in the first category, I think right here, this is kind of a wash, because better performance on the engine side, known reliability. And that's kind of a bit of a wash. Yeah. So this brings us to number 3, which is amenities and fit and finish put together. Now, I think all of these things kind of really do fit together well. So let's compare amenities and fit and finish.
Before we get too deep into this, I will point out that this front bumper and the skid plate are after purchase accessories from Yamaha. So now that said, we look over here and
we have a bumper and we do have skid plates from the factory. So
and they're included in the price.
They're included in the stock price with this hunting model.
Yeah, so, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
Yeah, that's right. That's number 4. So winches up front. This is a 3,500 pound winch. That's a 2,500 pound winch. This is Can-Am's brand. That is Warn. I don't know which one I would pick. I like Warn. Warn makes a good product.
Absolutely.
And I like that Yamaha has used, even though we don't love the tire pick, we like that they've used a brand name tire and we like that they've used a brand name winch. Sure. I think that adds value to the vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, your 2,500 pound winch is going to pull just about any off-road vehicle out of a mud hole that you need it to. 3,500 pound, I mean, that could pull over a building.
You've got winches on both, really good racks on both. However, the capacities on both the front and rear rack of the Can-Am are greater. The towing capacities of the Can-Am is about 500 pounds more than the Grizzly. When it comes to amenities electronically, like you mentioned earlier, we've got intelligent engine braking, intelligent throttle control, speed limiter,
dynamic power steering,
tri-mode EPS, so you can shift into the 3 modes if you want. I would have to say the electronics are definitely primo. Now, something I do want to talk about as well is shifting. Can-Ams for the longest time you had to rock the Outlander, do the awkward
I think anyone
motion
out there that owned an Outlander knows about that.
You know about the Audi hump to get it to shift, and it doesn't need that anymore. Again, Yamaha had a great shifting product. It worked good and it felt nice and it gated really strongly and efficiently and felt like it dropped into gear. Can-Am, I honestly think they copied like almost directly.
You can tell how much effort was put into that. That was a serious concern that was brought to the table, and they did something about it.
And I think I want to speak to NVH as well. The noise, vibration, and harshness, because that kind of comes into fit and finish. I always used to think that the Grizzly just had a really high quality NVH feel. Can-Am stepped the game up, and when you step on this vehicle and it's running, the vibration is way less. When you blip the throttle, you have a nice engine sound, but the induction noise is super loud on the Grizzly. It makes a lot of noise. This one is quiet and refined, and I think, again, it's the benchmark.
Absolutely.
It's a bit of a more primo feeling product, which let's talk about that, because premium usually comes at a premium. Finally, we have category 4, which is value. This entails the value of these products, with all the amenities, but then also the actual retail price. So let's bring that up on screen, both Canadian and American, and let's see the disparity between the two. So the Grizzly EPS SE in 2023 retails Canadian for $14,999. In the USA, it's $11,999. The 2023 Outlander Pro 700 Hunting Edition retails in Canada for $13,899, and in the US, $11,249. Okay, Mike, there is an obvious issue here.
Yeah.
The new guy in town is coming in, and he's got a brand new set of shoes, and he's cheaper.
Oh man, and I can't believe it's not just like by a few dollars either. I mean, you're looking at over $1,000 difference in Canada,
$1,100
close to 1,000 in the US. I mean, that's significant.
I mean, this is going to pay for your insurance. This is going to pay for a trip somewhere with your ATV. This is going to pay for a bunch of accessories on your ATV if you want. However, with that being said, $1,100 Canadian, $750 American. More horsepower, more technology, more suspension travel, more towing capacity, more rack capacity, more included features from the factory like bumpers and skid plates, more winch capacity by 1,000 pounds. There is a lot of goodness with the Can-Am, and coming in at a cheaper price, I didn't expect that to be what I would say right now. I thought it would be different.
If Yamaha did come to the table and match that price, it might be a different story today, but it hasn't, and the reality is there's a significant difference in the price savings, and I know my money's going to go towards the Can-Am.
Yeah, that being said, I'm in the same boat as you, that if it was my money today, I'm picking the Can-Am because it is overall a better quality product in the way that they've built it, benchmarking off of an already great product. But if you're the kind of person who is looking for proven reliability, something that Yamaha has earned over the 25 years building the Grizzly, there is no arguing that that vehicle is today tried and true reliable. But if it's anything else, I don't think you can argue that this is the right way to go.